Hey everybody, and welcome back to my channel. I thought I would do something a little different today. For the people that are subscribed to my channel, they may know this from one of the first videos that I ever posted on my channel. But after that, I never really talked about it much more. So a lot of you that are new subscribers might not even know this about myself. So I thought I would go ahead and sit down and talk to you guys about what it was like being a teen mom. So yeah, if you're new to my channel and you did not know that, yes, I was a teen mom. I actually got pregnant when I was 17 years old and had Kaiden, which is our oldest. He's 5 now, with a little like a month before I turned 18. It's something that I'm not ashamed to talk about at all. If anybody ever asks or anything, I'm always very open about the experience, and it doesn't bother me talking about it because it's one of those things that I felt like could tear a person down, but it did the opposite for me. I feel like my life, it was supposed to happen the way that everything happened. A little backstory real quick. For all of you that already know this, you can skip forward. You don't have to watch this or anything. And sorry, I keep looking at the viewfinder. I'm really horrible at that. But me and my now husband of 6 years got together. I was 16 when we got together and he was 22. So obviously he's older. And we both come from a very Christian background. Not my family so much, but me, very heavily into church at the time, and him and his family were extremely heavily and still are. And when our relationship started, it was pretty much frowned upon from the beginning. It wasn't so much, in my opinion, as the age. It was, I think quickly people kind of assumed the way our relationship was. And I'm gonna be very honest in this video, so if you know us personally, sorry for the details or however you want to say it, but from the get-go, whatever that word is, we started being sexually active about a month into our relationship, which is crazy because our backgrounds are obviously no premarital sex, so we obviously did not listen. I feel like a lot of rumors started immediately with our relationship and it got a little out of hand, and then I ended up pregnant. Let's see, we got together July, August, September, October, November, probably about 6 to 7 months after our relationship began, I found out I was pregnant. And let me just say, I feel like my story with being a teen mom is a lot different and better than a lot of the stories of teen moms that you or I have heard about. Because when I found out I was pregnant, I was with somebody that was already kind of established in life. He wasn't just beginning, he wasn't young and still in high school like I was. He had a really good career already. He had a place of his own. So that's why I feel like my story is a lot different. I was with someone that was very mature and very just has really good morals. That is like the main thing that I can say about my husband, is that he has the best morals of any guy I have ever met in my entire life. So I feel like my situation was a lot different than a lot of girls, and I'm not saying that every teen mom has a bad story or a bad experience with everything or anything like that. I'm honestly just giving my opinion and my outlook on how it was. But when I found out I was pregnant, Chad was the first one to find out, and it was not a question whether or not we were going to keep the baby. It was an obvious answer that we were going to keep the baby. We actually talked a lot about it happening. To be quite honest, we were never safe, ever actually. Never once wore condom, no protection, nothing. I wasn't on birth control, so obviously wasn't like wanted. We didn't want to get pregnant, but I think we just weren't being smart thinking that it could actually happen. But it did. We got pregnant, and like I said, it was never a question whether or not we wanted to keep the baby or if this was going to tear us apart. It was not like that at all. We found out we were pregnant, and obviously it was a huge surprise. Not that much of a surprise because obviously we weren't being safe, but it was a surprise. And immediately Chad stepped up and wanted to move me in with him, and he actually proposed to me 2 days later. At the time, we were living an hour apart, and he worked Monday through Friday, and he came down to where I lived after he got off work on that Friday, and we went out to dinner, and he proposed that night. And I actually ended up telling my pastor at the time, not long after that, that I was pregnant, which was really hard for me because I had a lot of respect for my pastor, and I still do to this day. And obviously was not happy, but he told us what we already knew we wanted to do, was that we needed to make it right in God's eyes and get married. And let me just be completely honest, because we are not super religious at this moment, but that doesn't mean that we don't love God. We still have a relationship with God, but we are not fully into church at this moment. But I'm not one of those people that think that it is the absolute worst thing that can happen on this planet if you get pregnant without being married. It didn't bother me like that when I got pregnant that we were not married. And that is, even though we did get married almost right away, as our parents and our pastors thought it was the thing that you should do, that's not the only reason we got married. We got married because it's something that we already knew we wanted to do. And it's something that we wanted both of our last names to be the same before the baby was born. And we just knew, like, we were so on track with everything, like we were in sync with everything. So it was not all about just making it right through God's eyes. I'm not one of those people that think you have to be married to have a great relationship or to have a child. Marriage means a lot of things to a lot of people. For Chad and I, we like the idea of marriage, and we felt like that's something that we wanted to do. So we got married. Not long after we found out we were pregnant, in like the middle of February, and we got married in the middle of March. And it was a very small, quick, out the door wedding. My pastor at the time married us, and that was about it. But it was the start of, you know, a new life with Chad. And I'll probably get some questions down below, so I will go ahead and answer these questions of what was my family thinking of me getting pregnant and now being married to a 22-year-old. So from the get-go, my family absolutely adored Chad. Let me also say that my family has never been super strict. They were never in church. I was the only one in my family that went to church, and so their opinions were a lot different on everything. And as said, they were not strict. They obviously didn't like the idea that I was having sex, and they didn't really like the idea that Chad was 22, but they loved him and they respected him, and they knew right away that he was going to take care of me. And when they found out that I was pregnant, they obviously, once again, were not happy, but they had no question in their mind that Chad was not going to step up and be the best dad and provider and husband for me. So it wasn't as huge for my family as it was for his family. Now, his family, obviously, we didn't go around a lot for the first, I don't know, year. It wasn't a thing of that we did not like them. It was a thing of just rumors. We knew everybody's opinions on our situation, but that is 6 years ago. So we are fantastic with everybody now, and I love my family on Chad's side. I'm very thankful and grateful for them, and I'm grateful for all the people that we have in our lives now. Being a teen mom is, it's hard, and I feel like with the MTV shows like 16 and Pregnant and Teen Mom, they can glorify it a lot. Obviously, they show hard times and all kinds of, you know, the real stuff, but I feel like there's a lot of glorifying it. And not that my story was not glorified, because I feel like I'm a lot luckier than a lot of young moms out there, but people don't understand, like, for example, it was really hard for me because I was technically supposed to be a junior in high school when I got pregnant. But like a month before I found out I was pregnant, I actually started homeschooling because I just wanted to be homeschooled. I didn't enjoy going to school, so I was being homeschooled. And I flew through my courses, so I was actually on set to graduate early, which I did. I graduated a year early. But it's really hard for me because I did enjoy the school, and I grew up with all the same people, like from preschool to graduation or whatever. It was all the same people. So my best friend was going to prom, and I wanted to show up for the promenade, I think it's called, where they like, you know, get announced and that they're going to prom. And I didn't think anything going there, but when I seen all my classmates, high schoolers, and going to this event and everything, it finally hit me that my life was going to change, that my life was already changed actually, and that things were never going to be the same. And then when senior year started and I started hearing of, you know, people my age were doing this and people my age were doing that, and graduation stuff, it started to get really hard. Not that I didn't love how things were, because I enjoyed being married, and I've always felt like I was more mature than a lot of the people that I grew up with, to be honest. This is something that I've always wanted from as long as I can remember. I've always wanted to be a wife. I've always wanted to have kids. I loved the idea of being a mom. And I was happy of how my life was going, but it was hard, you know, hearing about people my age doing this. And then when I would try to hang out with my best friend, nobody had anything in common with me anymore. It was hard to hang out with people. It was hard to have discussions with people my age because their lives were completely different than mine. I was planning a baby shower and planning, you know, what diapers I'm gonna go with and what brand of bottles or breast shields I wanted to use, and they're planning graduation and what their prom dress is gonna look like. So it was completely different, and we just didn't have a lot of stuff in common. So every friend that I did have dwindled away, and what friends I did keep, just they didn't understand anything that I was going through because they weren't living that life. So it was hard. And then I think one of the hardest, sorry, I had to get comfortable. I think one of the hardest things that you go through as a teen mom is the judgment, because people can be nice to you all they want to your face and say, you know, I'm happy for you, and things happen for a reason and all that, but you know darn well two things. You are being called a whore. They're thinking, why would your parents let you get in this situation? Why would you put yourself in this situation? What would God think? And then there was a lot of stuff on Chad because he was 22. So the judgment sucked. It did, and I could talk all day about how it never got to me, but obviously it did. The doctor's appointments, when they find out how young you are, and when I had to tell my teachers that I was pregnant, and when my stomach started really getting big, and I would go to like doctor's appointments, and moms that were obviously of age would look at me, and you know they're just thinking, another teen mom. And I hate that I was in that category as a teen mom, but I'm also not ashamed of it because my life turned out pretty darn amazing. I married my absolute best friend, and that's another thing with relationships. Statistics are horrible when it comes to your relationship when you get pregnant at a young age. Not like that with Chad and I. We, to this day, have an amazing relationship, and we are, not to get all mushy on everybody, but we are madly in love. I've never thought I would find or even be married to a guy like Chad. He is literally like, he's literally Prince Charming. Like, every girl dreams about marrying the perfect guy, and I literally feel like I married the most perfect guy. He makes me laugh. He is such an amazing dad. Oh my, like, such an amazing dad. He stepped up right away. At the time, we were living where he was used to living, so I moved an hour away from my family, which was really hard, and I was dealing with depression really bad because of that. But Chad was an amazing guy and sold everything to his name. He had a really nice Mustang that he sold to get a Jeep that would be perfect for a baby. And he sold his Xbox and all his games and his really good gaming computer. Literally everything to his name he sold so that he could move us back to where I'm from and give us, just find us this perfect house, which we had a perfect little 2-bedroom house. And we welcomed our baby boy that is now 5, and now we have 3 kids, which is crazy. But I wanted to make this video, one, because a lot of my new subscribers probably don't know anything about my past unless they've seen a lot of my old videos. But I also wanted to do it because I just wanted to share my story. A lot of people really downgrade teen moms, and they think that everyone has the same story when they're a teen mom, that they just weren't responsible and that they're living with consequences, and that statistically, you know, their kids get taken away from them, they are depressed, and that's not my story. I wanted to share that if you are a teen mom, that does not have to be your story at all. You do your best, and you do whatever you need to do to become the best mom that you can be, because they are worth it. Being a mom and having my son at the time was the most magical thing in the world. I've never felt a love like I did when I first seen Kaiden. And it's truly like, I just feel like everything came together so like perfectly. It was really fast, and everything in our relationship and life happened really fast because I married an amazing man, and I have the most perfect little family, and I'm so grateful for the life that I do have. But so yeah, I don't regret being a teen mom, and I'm honestly thankful that it happened that way, because it has made me be able to reach out to a lot of people that were in my situation and let them know that it is okay, and let them know that, and I know a lot of people in my situation, in what was my situation, don't have a lot of support when stuff like that happens. And I did have support, and I had, like I said, an amazing partner that was there to help me through everything. So yeah, that's all I really wanted to talk about. I just wanted to do this video and really get my story out there about what it was like being a teen mom. Like I said, I don't like the fact that I was a teen mom. Obviously, I would have rather waited for, actually no, everything happened perfectly. It happened perfectly. The timing to a lot of people was not perfect, but it was perfect. And I'm happy with my life, and I'm very proud to say that I am not one of the statistics of what a teen mom should be in a lot of people's books. So that's it for this video, guys, and I really hope you guys enjoyed. If you haven't already, I would love for you to subscribe to my channel, be a part of my YouTube family, and if you like this video, give it a big thumbs up, and I will talk to you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.